You're gonna face you in the mirror many times. There's gonna be a whole bunch of moments of truth as an entrepreneur. And there were several times, brother, several times I was ready to quit. Several times I think I even did in my mind quit for a few minutes, to be honest with you. I didn't give in to the temptation to stay quit because I so admire entrepreneurs because it's one of the great self-discovery processes of all time. You're gonna learn a lot about yourself, man. You're gonna learn how tough you really are, how relentless you really are, how resilient you are, how bad you really want it. Reservoirs of strength and passion you don't think you have, you will have to find to win as an entrepreneur. And so it's one of these great, entrepreneurialism makes you face up to somebody you've probably been running from for a long time. You're gonna face you in the mirror many times. There's gonna be a whole bunch of moments of truth. I would tell you this, that the dream you have in your heart was put there for a reason. It was sown into you as part of your life's journey. It's not a joke. It's not some vision that you might have. It was put there because it's possible. Okay, God put that dream in your heart and in your soul and in your mind because it's part of your destiny, and you should chase it with everything you've got. And remember this, these things don't matter. Things don't matter, people do. And so what I would tell you in my 1 minute is chase that dream. It's in your heart, it's in your soul for a reason. It was wired there to give you strength, to give you purpose, to give you direction. Never give up on that dream. And secondly, always serve people. Things don't matter, people do. That's how I would max out. No matter what it is you're doing, whether it's my business or any other business, you're an entrepreneur, or you're trying to get your pro card as a bodybuilder.
Right.
You're trying to be a professional golfer. You're trying to be an actress, right? You have to literally ask yourself, you have to pre-negotiate the price in advance. In other words, most people's will to win is for sale. I say this all the time. The difference for me, the reason we're Laguna Beach oceanfront, or we'd be on my jet, or wherever we would be, right? You're commenting on my Ferrari in the front, all these material things. The reason those things exist isn't because I'm more talented. It isn't because of that. But you can't buy me. There is no price, as long as it's legal, ethical, and moral, I will not pay for my dreams to happen. No price. And so most people, there's a price where they'll sell their will. They'll sell their dream, they'll sell their kids, they'll sell out their will to win. They will just eventually relent. You can be bought. Now they'll call it something later. It wasn't for me, it didn't work out, the timing was like bullshit. You sold out your dream, you sold your will to win, you sold your family, you can be bought. The question for you as an entrepreneur is, can you be bought? Because the long term, as long as you hang in there long enough, I promise you there's a breakthrough eventually. I promise you that there is. So my advice to you is just negotiate it now. What's the price? And if it better be, there is no price where you can buy my will. Because for me, it's this. I'm not going through this life on the average track.
Right.
Where it's really smooth, couple barbecues on the weekend, not a lot of bad weather, not a lot of bumps, not a lot of ups and downs. I want to be in the arena. I want to be on the bumpy road, the road less traveled.
Right.
Throw my ass on that road. I'm already prepared, man. You can knock me down, I'm getting back up. Knock me down, I'm getting back up. You cannot buy my will to win. That's what you got to decide as an entrepreneur, because here's the deal, man. You're going to have plenty of times where someone's going to be willing to write you a check with failure. What's your price? How much failure can you take? All my life, I worked hard, but I always left a little bit in reserve, I think just so I had an excuse. I'm not quitting, and I'm done like holding this little piece back. I'm gonna max this mother out. Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a dime, but I always had a vision, always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living, didn't know how, but I always had a feeling I was gonna be that one in a million. Always had high hopes. I'll give you, I never said this, I'll give you a quiet one. There's the obvious ones where I was like, we're so broke, I'm deluding myself. Like this is not, I'm not chasing the dream, I'm literally living the nightmare, right? So those are obvious ones. But I'll tell you, it was interesting. One night in my business, you want to grow the size of your team.
Right.
Just a benign Tuesday night, I was doing okay. I wasn't broke. It's weird how some of this can hit you. Really driven, really pumped up, and I'd had like 80 people the week before at a meeting. Kind of like, hey, we're doing well.
Right.
And that night, like 25 people only showed up. And I remember before the meeting, there's this mixer. I remember I'm leaning against the wall. And I remember going, working too hard. People suck. They don't keep their word. They let you down. They say they're gonna be somewhere and they're not. What's wrong with people? Maybe I just, you know what? It is not that bad to go sell Mercedes somewhere or do something. It's not that bad to settle for my life. And I remember I was literally feeling my body change, like losing my energy for it. I could feel it. And I remember thinking to myself, damn it, I always do this when it gets hard. I always give in. I always hold a little back. All my life, school, relationships, baseball, I worked hard, but I always left a little bit in reserve, I think just so I had an excuse. Just a little bit I held back from my maximum, my maxed out effort. I held it back just a little bit, almost like so I'd have an excuse if it didn't work. Yeah. You know, almost like, hey man, I don't want to give it all to this because if it doesn't work, I'll be crushed. So I'll give most of myself. You do that in relationships. I'll give most of myself. But if it doesn't work, then I won't be crushed. And people do that in their business and their bodies and their families. And I remember going, you know what? I'm not quitting, and I'm done like holding this little piece back. And I literally, that's where MAXOUT came. I'm gonna max this mother out. This is it, right? And I remember that meeting, let's go. And I gave a great meeting. I stepped into a new energy, right? I was like, boom, right? And I transformed that night because I was like, I always do this. I always leave a little in reserve. I'm leaving it all out there this time. And that is when it didn't shift immediately. But if I look back on that, stuff started to change about that time. Right. I'm chasing down a guy. I'm not competing against the rest of the world. I'm chasing down the man I was born to be, the one the Lord made in his image, right? The ultimate, best, most confident, peaceful, giving, generous, powerful version of me. I want to meet that guy at the end of my life. And I meet him by every year being in a crisis to get to the next place, the next version of me, because I ultimately want to meet the one I could have been. The end of your life, the best end of a life is the Lord says, well done, right? Good and faithful servant. But at the same time, he goes, by the way, this is who I made you to be in my image, and shake his hand. And when I shake his hand, I go, hey, brother, been with you a long time. The worst end of a life would be to meet him and be total strangers. I have no idea who this man is because somewhere along the way, my will to win got bought and I went on Easy Street and I never meet him. I want my kids to meet that guy. Most people, once they get to a certain destination, they stop doing the things that got them there. They start managing it. They start trying to get control. Being an entrepreneur is messy. And the minute you try to earn total control over your environment, think you're just going to completely have everything wired, organized, and you stop putting in the effort that you put in before, or you stop evolving and modernizing and getting better. There's this old adage in business, you got to trust the process. Biggest load of BS in the history of business is trust your process. Tell Barnes & Noble they should have trusted their process. You know why they're not Amazon? Because they trusted their process. Right. Blockbuster Video should be Netflix right now, but they're not because they didn't evolve, they trusted their process. Kmart should probably be Target or even eBay right now, but they're not because they trusted their process. So when people get to a certain level of success, they start to try to hold on to it and control it and corral it. And okay, I'm gonna manage this. I'm gonna stop doing the things that got me there. I'm gonna stop evolving, and I'm just gonna sort of hold on to this and ride it out. This is pretty good. And they start riding, it's almost like floating on the water with a floaty, right? Eventually the shark's gonna bite your feet, man. You better keep kicking. You better keep swimming. You better keep moving because the sharks are surrounding you as an entrepreneur all the time. Your competitors, failure, setbacks is all surrounding you. And the minute you start floating, the minute they start biting, and eventually there's blood in the water, and when blood gets in the water, they really start eating. I know friends, and so do you, who were very wealthy people, 5 years later are bankrupt. And most of the time, you can go back to that line and go, they started to trust their process, try to manage it and control it, instead of keep kicking, keep swimming, keep evolving. So that was the difference for me. I just kept swimming. It takes guts, right, to say, I ain't gonna be average. I'm not gonna be average and ordinary. I'm not gonna live an ordinary life. I wanna do something great. I was born to be special. I was born to do something awesome with my life. That takes guts, man. That takes courage. God's got your back, brother. And the more you pray about it, the more you'd have some faith, the more you'd know you got God's favor, the more he's your savior and your business partner, brother. He's got you. It's all good. And everything you need within you is there right now to win. And I would say this to everybody, you're enough. I'm gonna max this mother out. This is it. Most people can get to what I just said. Here's what most people won't do. They will not take the time to invest the mental focus in why they're doing it. Your compelling reasons why. Because your why will always be greater than the price. In other words, I got 2 beautiful kids. I got a great family. There's no check you could write for me to sell those kids out. I can't, and I've linked my children's futures, my children's dreams, my kids someday seeing the best version of me, meeting the ultimate dad of theirs, right? To that. So my why is linked to all my goals. And whys are always your dreams or other people. If you link enough whys, I mean, not cheesy stuff, like not read this in a book, oh, that's neat. Link really why you're doing it, you can't be bought. You now are literally have a force field around you that is impenetrable because you've got bigger reasons than the obstacles that will come. So I load myself up with reasons. I would tell you this, that the dream you have in your heart was put there for a reason. It was sown into you as part of your life's journey. It's not a joke. It's not some vision that you might have. It was put there because it's possible, okay? God put that dream in your heart and in your soul and in your mind because it's part of your destiny, and you should chase it with everything you've got. And remember this, these things don't matter. Things don't matter, people do. So what I would tell you in my 1 minute is chase that dream. It's in your heart, it's in your soul for a reason. It was wired there to give you strength, to give you purpose, to give you direction. Never give up on that dream. And secondly, always serve people. Things don't matter, people do. That's how I would max out.